All right, to start the cluster swap, we're gonna remove this panel piece over here. We're gonna take this top piece up here, and you're gonna have to remove all of this plastic over here to open up the bottom section down here. First, we're gonna pull this off, get a pry tool, and this clips here at the bottom, the corners up top and around. And here, we got clips here, 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 and here. Careful, this section is gonna have a little lip and it's gonna get caught right behind it. Just push this down and we'll get it. And we'll pull this one out. It's got two connections at the bottom. And if you see this right here, that's the section for all the switches that control the cluster right there. If you're doing a cluster swap, I suggest that you get this other panel from that same truck you got the cluster from. And here's the two clusters side by side. As you can see, it's got nothing here, but it's got all the buttons back here. And this cluster had two wires plugged in, and we'll show that on the harness. And it's got this one right here and this one right here. And going to the truck, it already has the harness for this one and this one, so we can just plug that right in. And then you're gonna remove this whole panel over here. It's got clips all around. And as you know, these dashes are very fragile. Luckily, mine doesn't have any cracks at all. But do be careful with this. You can use a pry tool just as top. Put some tape on it just so you don't scratch or gouge your plastics. And do be careful and take this process nice and slow, because this is 2000s GM plastic, so it will crack and you don't want to break all your plastics. And then underneath, we got two T15s bolts that you'll take here, and you'll put it in here and in here, and we'll start taking it off. Then we're gonna lift this up and put that to the side. Careful, it's plastic as well. And then we're gonna take out the 7mm here and the 7mm here, and that's gonna take off the plastic bezel that's holding the cluster in place. And before we continue, you will need to put your truck in gear, and we'll pull this out. It'll come out nice and easy. And it's out. There you go. And like that, you take the 4 screws out up top, take the plug out up here if you're having trouble. It's the push pin right here. Take the flathead screwdriver and pop this out. And it's out. And see how it has a section for the other 2 gauges. You can put another one in. And then the connection here, it's the same. And we got a side-by-side comparison of both clusters here. So yeah, we got 2 here, but only 1 here. The tachometer with the chrome ring, miles per hour, goes up to 120, 120. Temperature gauge up here, temperature gauge at the bottom, same numbers. Voltage here, but no voltage there. And on the back, we got, this one's full of pins right here. This one's also full of pins, they're the same, so they're compatible. And now the new cluster is plugged in, so before you start putting it together, you're gonna wanna put the key in, make sure everything turns on. Got the miles, and well, it's probably gonna throw a check engine because of this, but we'll plug that in and see what happens. Boom. Turns on, oil pressure comes up, fuel, voltage, water temp, everything. Now put it back together in reverse order with the 4 7mm around in each corner. And you'll want to put the truck in gear, put on the brake right there, emergency brake on, and that way you can put the plastics back on. Then I strongly suggest that you clean it up. Go with like a fine brush or something, because this one's got a bunch of little crevices and all that a rag or your finger won't get in. That's going to be a little bit more annoying to want to clean it while inside the truck. But this one fits right in there like the original. It lines up. Just make sure the clips are all good and push in and put your 2 bolts up top, here and here, and ready to go. But the truck is still in gear, so that way it'll fit. And now that we put this switch in, you'll be able to see, boom, gives us all our information, and it works just fine. So we'll be able to put that in over there, and it works with our new cluster. And now we got an upgraded one. All we got to do is just put this plastic piece back on and the 2 15mm Torx, and we're finished.